Hey folks, Lita here once again. Hey, how's everybody doing? Hope everyone's doing good out there. So I haven't been doing videos lately, guys. It's just been busy. I've been busy with work. But anyway, I want to welcome you back to another Batman video. As on my channel, I started my Batman marathon. I've already done 4 Batman videos. Last time was a TV show collection with the Batman 60 show. Now, I'm going to be talking about my favorite episodes of all 3 seasons of Batman. So, and now, this video is going to be called my thoughts / favorite episodes of Batman Season 1, the 60 show, Season 1. So, and what I thought of the season, I thought it was great. I enjoyed this. Obviously, the 60 show is campy and cheesy, but this was fun. Yes, Adam West and Burt Ward, always great. Classic Batman, very enjoyable. I enjoyed the first season of Batman. It's got 34 episodes on it, but we're going to be getting to them right now. So don't worry, I'm talking, since there's 2-part episodes, because each episode ends with a cliffhanger of this season, I'll be talking about the 2 episodes together. So I don't take all day in the video. So anyway, I already made my list of my favorite episodes. I have episodes that I like, but my favorite episodes is the one that I love the most. So here we go. Starting with the episodes, the pod episodes for Batman, that is High Diddle Riddle and Smack in the Riddle. Yeah. This is when we're introduced to Frank Gorshin, his first time as the Riddler. So, pretty much the series opens with Gotham City, and it looks nice. You got this World's Fair going on with this Prime Minister, and all of a sudden, this kind of explosion happened. Again, it's cheesy and campy show. This explosion happens, and you see these riddles, and Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara realize that there's a problem, that the Riddler's on the loose. So, and Commissioner Gordon's like, O'Hara, do you think you are your man can handle? He's like, no, Commissioner, we need help. We need help. Picard, we need help. And he's like, I don't know who is. And Commissioner Gordon goes to the red phone, which is the Bat phone. He's like, I don't know who is behind that mask. I know we need him, and we need him now. So beep, beep. And Bruce Wayne is talking, and the home of Stately Wayne Manor, home of millionaire Bruce Wayne, and his dwarf Dick Grayson. Sorry. Bruce talking to people about business, and he gets a call, and they tell him that the Riddler's there. So every time they, slide down the bat poles, there's a button like Batman pushes, and they get into and then they jump in the Batmobile. I love the 60s Batmobile. Awesome. And, it was like this. Turbines to speed, Roger, ready to move out. Then they exit the Bat Cave, which is out of a cave, and under Wayne Manor. Bruce goes to Dick Grayson, who, of course, and Harriet, who, and Alfred does answer the phone. Alfred is the only one in the show who knows their secret identities as Batman and Robin. And Harriet is completely clueless to it. And their excuse is like, we're going to go fishing. So they have to make an excuse each time they go. They do catch Riddler, pointing a gun at a man. I do like it though when the Riddler calls them, and Frank Gorshin is just so hilarious. I think he is the father of all Riddlers. He's the reason, that maybe we have all the Riddler actors like Jim Carrey or Paul Dano in the Batman, is because of him, if you think about it, because he's the one that was really the first actor to play the Riddler. And he's like that. Why? Riddler made this. Why is a man like this, Robin's always able to figure out. They use Bat Rope to climb up there. Robin's about to throw a cage. Well, not a cage. Can't throw a cage. But throw these bars out of the window. Bat and Robin take it off. Robin's about to throw and Bat was like, "Oh, little chum, pedestrian safety." And so he uses like a bat hanger to put it on there. And they see Riddler robbing somebody, and they say, "Riddler, stop!" And they stop him with a bat bomb. And he's like, "You got me, Batman." It's like, Batman, he didn't commit a crime. He was, they take a picture of Batman. He's like, Batman, I got you. You know, what is one thing one man wants to have, but no man wants to have, or whatever that. It's like, brought into Riddler's a lawsuit. He's like, right, Batman, I'm going to sue you. And so Riddler brings the lawyers prepared. He's like this, I got you, Batman, I got you. And with this, Batman will have to reveal his identity, you know, to the world. And you know, the Riddler's like this. You know, I can't do it, but Frank Gorsuchian just has that giggle. His laugh just kills me. You know, and I see him, Bruce and take her to home and sitting down, and you know, Bruce is like, what am I going to do? I've been telling, you know, I became Batman ever since my parents were murdered by dastardly criminals. Yeah. But they had to find out the Riddler's plot and what he's up to. But they go to the Batcave and they start examining the legal document. Eventually, what way to go? They eventually, you know, investigate the Riddler. He's got his cohorts. You have Joe St. John, who's in this. You know, all the villains here, you know, main villains have like a lady almost every time. They go to the disco, but Robin's not allowed to go in because he don't think he's able to watch on the back computer in the or whatever in the Batmobile. You know, Batman is dancing with Joe St. John. I like when he goes in there. He's like, Batman, would you like a table? We're like, no, I wish not to attract attention. And, you know, he says it's Joe St. John, and he dances with her. You know, that's when he does that dance. But he has this drink, orange juice, and it's been poisoned. Well, you know, whatever you call it, like kind of like it's been spiked with a sleeping pill. So Batman, you know, is like, yes. So Nancy's like, and then he passes out. And Robin, you know, there's like a Batmobile where you can set up start button where it says a theft, all of the Batmobile gets stolen. So Robin pushes the button on it. Riddler shoots him with the door, knocks him out. And, you know, Riddler's goes like, what do we do now, Riddler? I was like, manhole, stupid. You know, I was like, I'm going to take the Batmobile. He's like, he should have stuck the car. And this was funny because the Batmobile starts, you know, shooting fireworks out of it. And starts going crazy. And Riddler tries to blow the Batmobile, but the Batmobile has a safety backup where I can't blow it. Batman's like, and Riddler's like, this thing just can't be destroyed. You know, they kidnap Riddler, and he has a plan to, yeah, you know, Batman can't drive because he's drunk. He's like, officer, move out of my way, I've got to go. It's like, sorry, Batman, you can't drive too far. You're right, officer. And he gives him the keys like this. What did they take? Robin! You know. And they carry him down the manhole, and the Riddler's hideout. Robin is trapped to a table as the Riddler, who's surrounded by Molly, and of course his mob. They operate on him. You know, will Robin escape? Can Batman find him in time? It's the ghastly end of our Dynamic Duel. Answers tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel. But that's the cliffhanger of the episode. Alright. Smack in the riddle. And then, you know, Batman attempts to contact Robin through his bat radio, gets a little, you know, from Alfred that Ed Harry is worried about him, but either they're making an excuse, can't tell the truth, because, like they said in the High Devil episode, you know, Alfred's like, well, if Mrs. Cooper was able to find out what Mr. Dick has been really doing, you know. And Riddler, I guess, sets up, you know, Joe St. John to have plastic surgery so she can look like Robin. And, you know, they make Robin chase them. I mean, you know, it was I don't know which one it was, but there's a picture of it. Anyway. The Riddler faced an accident, and Joe St. John, who was disguised as Robin, with plastic surgery and stuff, she's like, you know, and you know, when they get to the Batcave, she puts the gun, it's like, freeze it right there, Batman. It's like, Molly, I was wondering when you were going to reveal yourself. It's like, don't worry about my Batmobile have like a, I don't know, way to blank her, make her bullets blank and get rid of it. She has to run away. she goes to Tom Paul used to power the Batmobile, and she's like, Batman, help me. He's like, Molly, don't go up there. He uses his Batmobile to go up there. He's like, Molly, give me your hand. Molly, give me your hand. And she's like, Batman, help me, Batman, and falls to her death. And Batman, I know, like I said, this is a bit comedy too, so don't take it seriously. Or Batman says, poor girl, what a terrible way to go. And Batman eventually rescues the true Robin. He sees the Riddler, just attack the Riddler, but Riddler's got like a mirror like this. Riddler's like, don't get me, But eventually Batman and Robin eventually do find out his plot, where his Riddler involves a mammoth and mole, and where he plans to, of course, rob the Riddler's actual plan is to, use gas masks, so he has a mask like an elephant, says a few jokes. His plan is to, rob the Maharaja, or, this part of the steps that, Riddler wants to rob and steal, get away with his crime. But Batman and Robin are hiding the mammoth. They jump out, it's like, we found out you Riddler, now it's time to get you. So they fight. Batman and Robin eventually fight the villains. Batman chases Riddler down a hole, and Riddler, blows himself up. And at the end, they're like, who knows, Dick, if Riddler really destroyed himself. But the Riddler might have lived, so they'll have to probably deal with him another day. But, again, fun episode, okay. And you do have a little bit more here in this season with the Riddler as well. Alright. Now my next favorite are Fine Feathered Finks and the Penguins of Jinx. This is where we get Burgess Meredith as the Penguin. Begins with the Penguin, who has some of his men give fruit umbrellas to some people, but the umbrellas go off. Don't kill anybody. Like I said, cheesy and campy is what this show is. They go like, it goes like, explodes like balloons, and everybody's like, screaming. Then the Penguin, you see him at tape of prison where the warden wants to rehabilitate the prisoners, and Robin's like, judges him, Robin's like, why would you do that? Well, boy, when did we try to do that? Because they, all our criminals, And then they watch this video of the Penguin, Burgess Meredith, saying, let's get out of prison, I need to come up with a plan for a good crime. And this criminal gives Penguin an idea, what if Batman, was on our side? And, and then they realize that there's a camera in there. Penguin was like, watching, well, if you want to find out my little secret, what I'm up to, then he gets rid of the camera. Penguin does with his umbrella. And of course, he does call Batman, and Batman and Robin watch the video too, off the security camera. Of course, he owns an umbrella store. Batman tries to see if Penguin has an umbrella store, and they're trying. Batman and Robin are talking, and when Penguin's there, they're like, well, what is he up to? He's like, and Penguin's like, I beg your pardon, Batman? And he has that laugh with the smoke and the smile. And he's like, we're gonna, Penguin's plan is to make Batman help him, or basically trick him. Yeah. Penguin wants there's this giant umbrella, which Batman goes on top of the giant umbrella. It has a communicator on it, and we listen to what Batman and Robin are saying. Batman offers to take it back to the Batcave to further examine it. They decide if they're going to find out what he was up to. He goes undercover as Bruce Wayne, just going to look for the umbrella, which Penguin somewhat may recognize Bruce Wayne, but just doesn't really notice it. He tries to set the tiny microphone. Eventually they're able to get, Penguin gets the net and captures him. And what they're going to do with Bruce is tie him up, with the net, and they're going to burn him alive. Yeah. They're going to burn him in a furnace, and Penguin's going to go continue with his crime. So, and then, on the irony of it, the horror, the flaming end of the Cape Crusader. Can Bruce possibly escape? Okay, I just wanted to do that a little bit just for fun. But, I'm sorry, no, I'm not done yet. Alright, and then the Cliffhanger episode. The Penguins and Jinx. Bruce Wayne is eventually able to get off. He uses a cigarette lighter containing a lifetime supply of burnt gas and throws it into the fire, which causes a blast and allows him to get out. Penguin has a transparent light set in his umbrella. He's able to listen to Batman and Robin's crime. That they're planning to kidnap this woman, actress named Dawn Robbins. Batman and Robin are together, and this is what is Penguin going to do when Penguin and him and his cronies are listening, and his henchmen are listening. Eventually they're able to come up with a trick and eventually really kidnap this woman because, Batman and Robin did not know that. Penguin puts them on has a magnet for their utility belts, which, lands them there. They're like, they can't get out. But eventually they will escape and return to police headquarters. And they eventually know that Penguin did bug them, and they let him in on their scheme. Batman and Robin are hunting the statue, but it's actually found that it's dummies of Batman and Robin. They do knock out Alfred, with a gas. And there's the Batman and Robin right there, and then they, of course, apprehend Penguin. Of course, there's the fight. Well, the fights really show us like wham, kabam, and all that stuff. And then they eventually defeat the Penguin. So, overall, good way to introduce him, Virgin Moves as the Penguin. So, fun episode. Fine Feather thinks the Penguin is a Jinx. Okay. Just more down. Alright, next. And next is the Joker is wild and Batman is wild. Okay, first the Joker is wild. This is where we first get Cesar Romero as the Joker. You see Joker in prison, playing baseball in prison. And speaking about it again, I like, he is the first actor to play the Joker, just like Frank Ocean as the Riddler, first actor to play the Riddler, and Virgin Moves is the first time as the Penguin. First actor to, and the first actor to play the Joker is Cesar Romero. I know some people may not like him, but I've always liked Cesar Romero as the Joker. I think he's hilarious. He's over the top, he's silly. He doesn't kill anybody, but he does play tricks and jokes on people, as the Joker. I like it when he's pitching every time. He's always like, getting them every time. But he's able to literally jump out of prison, literally leap out of it, literally does it. And eventually the Joker's got a plan to commit some crimes, and of course eventually they call Batman. The only thing Joker left behind was a statue of his face for Commissioner Gordon. Batman and Robin go to this museum to see if the Joker's there, but the Joker is eventually hiding in the museum. He's like, oh, my cronies, come out. And they plan to rob this bank. Eventually, Batman and Robin show up, and Joker and his gang fight them. They're able to get, Robin, Batman, eventually protective over Robin. Robin gets knocked out. Batman himself pretends to be knocked out. They grab Batman. He's like, this but he moves through because he's never sleeping because he's a utility belt and is able to, like a smoke bomb or whatever, and maybe get away. And then, Joker swears, one day, he's like, I swear, I'll never be fooled by that gas again, but that utility belt again. So Joker pretty much makes his own Joker utility belt so he can take on Batman in a fight. He asked one of his henchwomen, whose name, she's like, okay, touch it, my dear, ask for anything. She's like, I like to ask for a ship. I was like, I'll be realistic, or something like that. Batman and Robin, of course, are trying to be at the Batcave and trying to investigate what Joker is up to. And then you see an opera singer singing who's a clown singing, and you find out it's the Joker in disguise. As Batman and Robin come to him and they find out who he is. But eventually Joker is able to overpower Batman and Robin, and Joker decides in front of the TV television, in front of the whole world, to unmask Batman and Robin. Could this mean curtains with the identities of Batman will be revealed to the whole world? Is the end of the career of crime fighters? And then the episode ends there in that cliffhanger. Okay. Now, Batman is wild. Okay. When Joker's about to remove Batman's mask, but the Cave Retriever escapes using a bat missile on his utility belt. Him and Joker fight, like, in the name of crime, all each other. In the name of crime, Joker says something else. Him and Batman have a kind of a utility belt showdown where Joker's able to tie him up, with wrapping paper, tie Batman up. Kind of just really is able to wrap around Batman, literally. They're trying to find out Joker's next move, but Joker hijacks a TV station and tries to, kind of make his own riddle or start another joke to tell Batman what his next plan is. And eventually he's committing crimes, getting away with it, and people are getting fed up and angry at Batman and Robin for not doing anything about it. They try to have an announcement for Batman or make a statue or whatever the non-statue Batman. This and Batman and Robin are there. He's like, what are you out there? Joker's getting away with crime. It's like, ignore him, Batman. Commissioner Gordon says. He makes this cork, this bottle that, supposed to paralyze people, and it does. Batman takes a bat pill, of course. The universe of drug end up but the Joker, they eventually take Joker out and defeat him and destroy his utility belt and defeat Joker. But overall, fun episode in my opinion. Alright. And it was a great season. Cesar Romero's the Joker. So. Alright. And then my next favorites are Instant Freeze and Rats Like Cheese. This is showing Mr. Freeze. Now, we only have 3 actors playing Mr. Freeze in all the other seasons of Batman. Well, Season 2, Part 1 and Part 2 of Batman. First one he's played by George Sanders. Yeah. I don't know him for a lot of movies, but I know he voiced Shere Khan in the Jungle Book film. You had a guy named Dr. Shovel, now Victor Freeze, they don't call him that, but you have a crime of Mr. Freeze, robbing and stealing, and they call Batman, and you find out that over that accident, that doctor who became Mr. Freeze, he eventually, has to live under cold temperatures, and that you find out Mr. Freeze wants revenge against Batman, wants to kill him. So, Batman's like, I can't blame him. He's like, oh, come on, Batman. Robin says, it's not your fault, and Freeze decides to rob this lady who was like friends with Bruce Wayne. He wants the city diamond. He's able to, before his henchmen can walk into his room, he has like a monitor or whatever that keeps him in his freezing state. And for his crooks, he has to keep them in the heat. So, because only he can live under cold temperatures, nobody else. He uses a conditioned suit where he can go out in public. It keeps him alive. Batman robbed this lady who was also friends with Bruce Wayne. He pursues his purple device for visiting the Princess Sandra of Molyneux. Batman and Robin try to stop him, but Mr. Freeze is like, no, I don't want to kill you yet. No, not yet. And then he freezes them, and Batman and Robin arise. He's like, well, Batman, I didn't want to kill you this soon, but oh well. As Batman struck out, is Robin cool for good? Can no one save the noble pair of human popsicles? Same time, same channel, yeah. Alright. And then I believe rats like cheese. Batman and Robin are frozen, the animals just come over. They, the doctor's trying to help out. It was like, doctor's like, I'm trying to help out, and the whole world's like listening. And it would successfully unfreeze Batman and Robin. And Mr. Freeze finds out that they're alive. Of course, is going to continue trying to sell diamonds and stuff. And in the first episode, Mr. Freeze, he creates these duplicates, gets these, not duplicates, but gets versions of Batman and himself, just to cause this chaos. And then, Batman and Robin over that woman who got robbed earlier by Mr. Freeze. They're at a baseball game. There's an air, plane that, says, 3 strikes, Batman, you're out. It's another message from Freeze telling him that the diamond, it's a diamond in Spanish. They kidnap the pitcher, Paul DeMille. They kidnap him, and in exchange, Batman decides that, because Robin to stay, that he's gonna, be his, hostage. Eventually, Robin, who just decides to go in anyway, puts a tracker on Batman, is able to follow him to the location. And Batman looks at Mr. Freeze, and he tries to attack Freeze. Freeze like, oh, Batman, you keep doing that, but you're going to die eventually. And Batman's freezing. And then they go out to eat. Well, because, they do go out to eat literally because Mr. Freeze makes them dinner. As his people make them dinner. Eventually, Robin shows up. His goons he was captured by Mr. Freeze's goons. So the boy knows at this location, so I'm sorry, I'll have to kill him. And, Batman and Robin fight with some of Mr. Freeze's men, and Freeze is letting the coal come to Batman, turning the heat on to them. But Batman took, I think, like Batman wants him to get medical attention to get him help, but Mr. Freeze refuses. Batman to the precaution of wearing a special super thermal underwear, which keeps him warm. And because this because he punches Freeze in the face, like Mr. Freeze, like, you've been faking the whole time. And he captures Freeze. They grab his machine and turn the heat on him. They create a cold amount of coal to give Freeze, and of course Freeze gets in jail. Goes to prison. They throw this event, and Bruce and Dick are not interested in baked Alaska, so they're like, we're tired of the cold. But overall, good episode and good way to see Mr. Freeze. Okay. And the video might be long, so I'm sorry, y'all. Then you have Riddle Day keeps the Riddler away. When the rat's away, the mice will play. There's a king who's visiting Gotham City. The Riddler has a plan to capture him. Well, yeah. Batman and Robin try to warn this king that he's going to be kidnapped. I can't read the episode, so sorry. But, so I don't really remember what happens to... Well, I actually think I remember. I'm sorry. Riddle Day keeps the Riddle away with this episode, starting off with this king coming to Gotham City just to visit, and you see Riddler giving the Riddle out, and Batman and Robin show up, and of course he's working with these men, well, who are like, kind of like, they're like mice. You even have a girl named Mouse who sounds completely like a mice. And it really tells his rats to wake up, wake up, But Riddler, Batman and Robin are eventually able to find out his scheme. They go to his lair. Eventually he kidnaps them and puts them on wheels. Basically not wheels, but kind of like a torture chamber wheels where I'm not going to really explain it because you hear it, where it rolls them around, where to kill Batman and Robin. And then the Rats Like Cheese episode, the Riddler's like, many men have tried, the Joker, the Penguin, Mr. Freeze, but I successfully killed Batman and Robin. So he believes pretty much that Batman and Robin are dead, until eventually they show up at this museum which he's planning to rob, because he kidnaps this king, I do like the scene of Frank Gorsuchian. Like I said, I love how over the top and silly he is. I love his giggles when his laugh is just hilarious to me. He's like this, I am the Riddler, I am the Prince of Puzzlers. But when they see Batman and Robin's like, how impossible, you should be dead. They're even able to fake Batman and Robin's death on TV. They're like, well, we found out your plan, and of course they keep the Riddler and knock him out. Basically, with the title episode, Riddle Day Keeps Riddler Away, that's what Riddler told Batman when he first arrested him. So, but overall, fun episode. And also, you also have one of Riddler's men, one of the mice men, who dresses up as Batman, and this guy is very unbelievable, and Bruce Wayne's in the office, telling him his plan, and it's just like, yeah, this guy, bad costume, and yeah, very unbelievable was Batman, even Commissioner Gordon was Batman, and Batman was like, no, that wasn't me. But overall, it was a fun episode. When the rats away. Okay. And then my next favorite episode is part 2 episodes. It's the 13th hat. Batman Stands Pat. This is where we have the first time having David Wayne, who plays the Mad Hatter. He is Jervis Tetch, probably the only villain in this show that actually keeps his real name. He's abducting all the jurors. Basically, he's trying to kidnap all the jurors, including Batman, who I think was his juror, or he's basically after Batman's cowl in this episode. He doesn't mind control people, but with Mad Hatter's hat, just walk over to people and just have them beam up, and it'll beam eyes at you. I do like the music there, and people go like, oh, no, pass out. And it'll be like, I can't do the music right. And Mad Hatter talks about his plan, what he's going to do with Batman. He says, he kidnaps all these jurors, get them tied up. It's like getting revenge. And he's like, eventually he really wants Batman's cowl, and his plan, he shows his, the lady, and his game is basically what he's going to do with Batman. He's going to kill him. Eventually he's able to go undercover. Well, he goes in disguise as his painter. He's like, oh, Batman, would you please remove your cap? Of course, you can go in there. Of course, Batman knows he's up to something, so him and Batman, they know it. They fight his men until, Batman gets in this concrete, which, Mad Hatter's able to pull. They try to pull Batman out of there. He's like, Batman, he's like, I just had to breathe, Robin. Batman also brought the key to the Mad Hatter's testimony. Eventually Batman and Robin find out what he's up to. They go to capture him. They fight with him a bit. They even throw him in his own trap, Well, because Batman and Robin, was the first time fighting the Mad Hatter. When they're fighting the Mad Hatter. Because Robin is famous for saying, holy this and holy that. Batman's like, I'll be prepared, Mad Hatter. I'll be prepared, Hatter. And I got my that mirror reverse on you, and he uses on Robin. Robin's like, holy ricochet! I was like, Robin Ocean, But eventually they defeat him, and it was a fun episode. And then I think David Wayne did a good job, and you will see him, of course, in other episodes as well. But that was the 13th hat, and Batman Stands Pat. And then next is the Joker goes to school and he meets his grisly match. The Joker, who's attempting to among students. By at the beginning you have Dick Grayson at his high school, Woodrow Roosevelt High School, which Dick Grayson goes to, and they have these teenagers from it. It's got like a lot of money in it. Basically, it's like he's trying to teach these kids about getting into crime. There's this girl named Susie who Dick has a crush on, and eventually she's working with the Joker, and the Joker is able to use a boombox machine, or a machine that it's like an old machine, I don't know what you call it, but it has a gun on it. Is able to rob some people. He's like, the joke's on you! And they eventually call Batman. Since Dick is in school, Batman has to go on his own. Shows up to the school, is like, Batman, where's Robin? Robin's at school. Kids like you, I can't tell his identity, I can't tell you who, because I reveal his identity, his true identity. And of course, him and Dick have to play it cool, where they don't know each other. Batman tells the kids who the Joker is. I was like, hello kiddies, meet the Joker. And Joker runs out of school. It's a jukebox, okay, yeah, that's where you put all music and stuff. And you have the Bad Pennies, who of course work with the Joker. And Susie, who of course is his henchwoman. She said we get some stuff for the Joker, found out some information for him. using a black mouse king, and leads Batman and Robin to one of the vending machines, which trap them and knocks them out. The machine it's a vending machine that's rigged. Batman and Robin are an electrical. Yeah. Let's see. Electrical chairs, which is right here, and it's kind of like poker. And Batman says, "I'm not a gambling man." And Joker's disguising his voice, but they're gonna kill him in this van, and it hits the limit. When it hits three lemons, they're dead, and then the cliffhanger ends there. As bad luck would have it, 2 lemons have turned up already. Horrors, 1 lemon, double horrors, 2 lemons. If it's third, instant 50,000 volts of shock, which will kill them. And the cliffhanger ends there. And then picking up the last episode, Gotham City eventually suffers from, because of what they're, Joker and his current, the vending machines, the electricity. Gotham City suffers from a power outage. The cops are going to suffer, so the Joker and he's going to just hightail it out of there. And thanks to the cops and all, Batman and Robin are, saved. Batman and Robin play the audio tape. They ever find out it's Joker, and of course, Robin's upset because Susie, he's like, "It's okay, Robin. Joker just tortured into a life of crime." So they decide, Robin, of course, in his disguise of Dick Grayson, that Dick is going to go join the gang. And Dick is just funny because Dick Grayson's a good guy. He's a good teenager. You can say goody two shoes, but he's a good kid. Believes in doing the right thing, stealing money, bright values that he learned from Bruce. And of course, he doesn't smoke. He tries to come out, but he's like, "Hey, Sue, baby, how you doing?" He tries to wear a jacket, which is funny. He tries to smoke. Eventually, the gang is like, "That guy's never smoked a day in his life," and realizing that it was a trick. Where Susie runs her mouth off about the bad pennies. Joker decides to, he's going to get rid of her. So he gives us this special perfume, which, they try to talk to Susie about it. But Susie, since the perfume passes out. And since the Joker betrayed her, she reveals the whole plot. So Batman, he's prepared. Well, they use a universal antidote to save her life. Joker, Nick, and two bits. They brought her to school. They set the pictures of the high school basketball team that they were cheating on this test. And Ben was like, "Don't worry, that's a fake. Or because when you betray Susie, we got you, and they fight a bit, and Batman's able to knock out Joker with a batarang. And Susie goes to a special girls' school just to get help for what she's done. She gives, Dick a kiss on the cheek and thanks her and Bruce, for what they've done for her. She's sent to the Wayne Foundation for delinquent girls just to get help. But overall, good episode in my opinion. It was good to see Cesar Romero again as the Joker. If I forget anything, I'm sorry. It's just been a couple of days since I've watched this season, so because I finished I think last week or something, and I couldn't do last week because I went to Comic-Con, but wait a minute. Alright, next, another favorite of mine is The Perfect Crime. Better luck next time. And this is the episode introducing Julia Newmar's Catwoman, who, is the first actress to play Catwoman, I believe. Yeah, this is Julia Newmar's first time. Now, they did the Batman movie after this, I think, right after this season, so she was unavailable at the time. And so they had Lee Merriweather, and for the third season of the show, she was also unavailable, so they had Eartha Kitt play Catwoman. So, but Julie Newmar is in the first season, in season 2 part 1 and season 2 part 2. So, but anyway, Catwoman still is this part of this arc. She has this cat jump on a guard just to scratch him, and you find out she's got this crime plan where she wants to steal this gold or whatever, and Batman and Robin, of course, investigate what she's up to, and Julie Newmar, Catwoman right here, telling Felix and her cronies, basically, the Catwoman has no idea this. I'll show you to clip Batman and Robin's wings. And so she sets up a trap with Batman and Robin, puts them like in a trapping spot where Batman and Robin are going to be put in danger. She's able to look into her lair. She's like, hello, Batman and Robin. It's time to separate you two. So she separates them and Robin, puts Robin in a trap. And Batman, she's like, Batman, there's 2 doors here now. One door you can find and arrest me. The other door is a tiger. And so which one is it, Batman? As Batman's trying to decide which button to push. Like, which door, Batman? Which is it, Batman? The lady or the tiger? And Batman pushes his button, and of course the tiger comes out. And, he's able to fuss with the tiger, but he can't take on the tiger because he's just a normal man. So Batman has to, jump up there and get away. And then better this time, Batman eventually is able to get away from the tiger. Catwoman's men are about to kill Robin. Robin eventually, Batman eventually comes to save Robin and fight off the crooks. And then, Catwoman and her main henchman, decide to go get the gold or this treasure she's looking for. They get the treasure, but Catwoman's like, yeah, all for us too. Is like, but being a crooks ain't gonna share. Crooks just put them for herself, so she uses night, I guess, to pass out the man. And Batman and Robin show up and chase Catwoman, and Catwoman tries to jump a little bit too far, and plus with the bag she's carrying of the loot, it falls, and she's like, Batman, help me! Like, here, Batman, what, Batman? Like, tries to use a battery, but she falls. Of course, she doesn't die. But this is before their romantic banter kind of showed up, But the episode always ends with some cheesy lines going on. I just forgot to mention that. But it's usually with Commissioner Gordon or Bruce Wayne doing something in an episode where, like, I just want to randomly mention this. Aunt Harriet says, like, her lines are like, mercy alive, where did those two go? All the time. But anyway, it was awesome to see Julie Newmar first time as Catwoman. But it was a good episode in my opinion. Alright, The Perfect Crime. Better look next time. Alright. And then next is 2-part episodes of it. It's The Penguin Goes Straight and Not Yet It Ain't. This is when we once again see Burt Meredith as the Penguin. You have a managed performance at the Gotham City Theater. The Penguin is there, just attending this performance. All of a sudden, this criminal shows up, tries to rob people, and the Penguin saves the day by just knocking out the criminal and then giving this lady back her jewels. They call Commissioner Gordon, hears about it, calls Batman, but they really can't do anything to arrest him because it was really committed a crime. And again, at the Millionaires Club, where he gets to hang out, there's a steam room, and this millions are about to be kidnapped, and of course the Penguin saves them, and they can't do nothing to arrest the Penguin again because he's not committed a crime. But Penguin creates this protection agency which protects the world of Gotham cities. But you can say his real plan is to. The Penguin is just putting on a charade, and the Penguin is known for doing this. He's known for putting on a charade, or he's a charming villain, as you can say. He's got a charm to him to fool people or make you think that he's a good guy. The Penguin. He's a good guy. He's able to fool people thinking that he's good, but really he's not. And Batman knows the truth. And there's this woman named Sophia Starr, which Batman sends Alfred in in disguise of an insurance agent to take pictures, and he tries to put, a bug in the lamp. Penguin, who has a transmitter device in his umbrella, is like, wait a minute, there's something. Somebody put I didn't buck. Because he walks like a thing. He's like, shut up, trying to bug me, huh? He's like, well, I'm sorry, sir, but sometimes life is under the rug, and then Alpha grabs the rug and trips the penguin up. Trying to switch Penguin's cigarette. I wouldn't lie, but Penguin's cigarette holder. They go into Sylvia's apartment. They fight off Batman and Robin. But Batman and Robin are accused of committing a crime. So, they're one of the criminals now. Alright, and when they break into this affair that Penguin has thrown for his agency, Penguin and his men capture Batman and Robin. They, tie them up to where they, it's like a fair where you play games when you shoot a gun, but they put it's a real gun and real bullets in it. And Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara don't know this, so they pull the gun and they're going to shoot Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin, a swinging pair of dead ducks. What on earth can they save them? And Not Yet, which is the next part 2 episode. And Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara shoot the guns, but Batman and Robin have like bulletproof boots or whatever, so they use their boots to press against the wall and saves their lives. And Penguin, who thinks they're dead, is like, and like, what's so funny? They're all nothing. It's just that life is a surprise sometimes, and then they realize Batman and Robin are gone. Batman and Robin says they can't do nothing about it because Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara pulled the bullets, so it'd be attempted murder on their part. And Commissioner Gordon decides Penguin has to do a manhunt for Batman. Even goes in the Commissioner's office is demanding that he go after Batman and Robin. Goes on the bat phone to call Batman. And, Commissioner Gordon and him are tussling over the phone. And, Batman says, I'm coming after you. Penguin's like, oh, he's threatening me. You gotta do something about it. Commissioner's like, he's right, Chief O'Hara. We've got to do something. He's in his rights. And so they take out Batman and Robin. Oh my god, they shoot Batman and Robin. And after that, Penguin steals the Batmobile because of the Penguinmobile. But you thought it was a charade the whole time. Batman and Robin planned this because they knew Penguin was up to something, so they had to fake their deaths. They're in the Batcave, watching on because the Batmobile has like a Bat computer, anti-monitor, like a TV. They can watch what he's doing. Of course, it was blanks. The Penguin said he's going to marry her, but the wedding gifts, which are, from millionaires, so Penguin, they passes everybody out, even passes Commissioner Gordon them out, says he's going to steal. Batman and Robin eventually show up to his hideout, and they obviously take out Penguin and stuff. Yeah. But, because he is able to drive with the Batmobile, but Batman's able to get Robin because they're in the Bat Cycle. Batman's driving the bike, Robin's on the side, and they're able to get it out of there. They will eventually defeat the Penguin. So Sophia comes to police headquarters and vows that she wants to marry and reform the Penguin, just to reform him to be good in society. And they said, okay, let Penguin in if they see Sophia, but Penguin doesn't pay attention to Sophia or doesn't care about her. He's like, sees the gold that he wants. He's like, Penguin, this woman wants to marry you. And Penguin's like, no, send me back to jail. And then he just runs off, and then that's when the episode ends. But overall, it was just funny. Alright. Alright, then next ones are the Ring of Wax and Give Him the Wax. Give Him the Axe. We have Frank Gorshin as the Riddler. The Riddler is keep involving stealing a wax. To melt down for wax when he's exposed to direct flame. Eventually Penguin's Riddler's at a wax museum shooting, red paint at people. They call Batman and Robin about this, about what's the Riddler up to. Riddler tries to rob his bank, by using wax, to open it up. Batman and Robin trying to stop him. Again, I'm sorry, I can't really read the full episode, so I don't have to get the trap they put in, but really the trap they put in were he was going to put them in a bowl of wax, and this huge bucket of wax, where he was going to kill Batman and Robin. And then when you get to give him the axe episode, Batman, was able to use the utility belt, the belt buckle of his utility belt to explode it, and he thinks Batman and Robin are dead again. And he goes to commit his crime. Batman and Robin, as they do more investigating, they're able to eventually find out his crime, and he's like, we're finding your crime, Riddler. Now we're going to take care of you, because he's playing his crime. And Batman and Robin knock him out and punch Riddler, and just beat him. But overall, fun episode. I'm sorry I can't talk about too much. Just can't do no reading about it. Or the next episode. So sorry. Crap, I think I read the right one down. Shit. Oh, never mind. No, I didn't. I'm sorry. The next ones are another favorites of mine are the Joker trumps an ace, Batman sets the pace. There's this vision Maserati who Joker is planning to kidnap. Batman and Robin try to investigate this. You see the Maserati, people do everything for him when he's playing golf. His men kind of help set him down or get him back up. Joker, has a joke for a little car, which they have a kid and Batman and Robin try to follow him. And it's like, but they can't really do the bat term because they don't want to destroy the golf field. Eventually, Joker is in disguise of the Maserati. There's a picture of it somewhere, but I'm not going to look for it. He's kidnapped in the Maserati. They kidnapped the Maserati, and Batman and Robin see what it's up to. They put Batman and Robin in this vault. Joker's lady tries to convince him not to kill, but he's like, I'm getting rid of that I'm doing now. They try to use the vent, and Batman and Robin climb out of there. And Joker and his goons escape. Bruce Wayne, they go undercover as the 10 days of Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson to go in the store. Bruce is able to see with the monitor through a special mirror. Able to see through it. But then as Batman, the Maserati says that me and the Joker made a deal, I'm going to give him all his money. And then, Batman comes up with this, he's like this little pointy knife thing, and he points at him, and basically, you find out that there was no Maharaja. The real Maharaja was in his palace or whatever, on another vacation. That Joker came up with Joker was the Maharaja the whole time. He's just wearing a fat suit because Batman and Robin take it off and take out his men. And then they defeat him. So overall, a pretty good episode in my opinion. I think maybe this episode season where the Joker captures Batman and Robin, he's singing the song, he's like, you will be trapped in my space, something like that. Very over the top and silly, but again, fun. And then another favorite of mine is The Curse of Tut. The Pharaoh was in a rut. You have a new villain in town called King Tut, played by Victor Bonio as first time as King Tut. He was a former academic. He was a college professor that, due to this riot going on, his head got hit because these people throwing rocks right at his head because he was a college professor of Egyptology or Egyptology, whatever you want to call it, of Egypt and King Tut and all that stuff. And when he got hit in the head, he believed himself to be King Tut. He has this thing coming to town, he wants to make Gotham City his new Thebes. He wants to be their king. And he got this, this Egyptian statue out of the park. You have some lady do this, it's like, all this in the King Tut will rule, and that includes Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin to investigate this. They investigate the King Tut statue. Batman tells Robin to get away from it. The buddy said, was like, Batman and Robin was like, holy crap, Yeah. And I can't remember much about this episode, except that, Tut himself, was able to, they come with a plan to steal from the museum or whatever, when they capture Bruce Wayne, because Tut goes into pretends to be a mummy. They open his face and say, we're going to get him to the hospital. And he's got to tell the secret, and then, his men pass him out. And they plan to, kill Bruce Wayne. Bruce is able to, is on a gurney, but the gurney slides off the truck because, thanks to, Tut's man clunky driving. He's able to go downhill and he's like, oh no, he's going to get there, and then he's able to almost falls down this hill, could die, but he's able to, get untied and, go off to a rail and be saved. And Batman will continue investigating. He announces what he's going to do to the world. He tells this lady he's got like cue cards for her to read. He's making these noises. And he eventually does capture Batman. And, he's got these pebbles beating on his head and this lady's head. And this is where, you get the Bat dance. He's like, because he's happy because he's having Batman as a mindless slave. He's like, have them dance, and, Adam West Batman does that dance like this. That's like he dances for the amusement of the men of King Tut's men. He's like dances for him and he punches him. He's like, King Tut, I was faking it the whole time. And he's able to take him out. King Tut tries to get by stomach the Batmobile, but Batman hits the ejector seat. Holy ejector seat, Robin says something like that. He tries to King Tut tries to punch Batman, but Batman, blocks it and punches him out. And then at the end, King Tut wakes up, going back to being the college professor, They're like, has class started yet? And then, they're all happy at the end, for him, because he's back to being himself. Well, it was cool to see King Tut. Man, I wish they would do King Tut in live action movie. I don't know if it would work. It sounds bizarre, but it would be really cool to do that in maybe a darker version of Batman. They have King Tut in. I don't know why they don't do it, Alright, and then hopefully the last episode I'm talking about with the Riddler for this season. Death in slow motion and the Riddler's false notion. The Riddler is back and he's planning a silent movie where he's committing his crimes. Even here, throws a pie in people's faces to pass them out. Laughs about it. He gets this giant book for riddles, which Batman and Robin disclose it, and Batman, Riddler's looking over the TV, he's hitting it back and forth to see Robin and Batman and his crew are just laughing, and this just makes me laugh too, when, it's like, because he's enjoying watching them getting beaten up. His target is a film businessman who does silent movies. Basically, Riddler's after his fortune to steal it. Riddler dubs Robin. Basically he wants to cut Robin in two, literally, kind of like a lumberjack. But Batman eventually shows up, and it's just a dummy. Sometimes, I forgot to mention, you have celebrities and windows coming through to see Batman. Sometimes you do have, I think, only one that is, you have Jerry Lewis, so, hi Batman, Jerry Lewis has a guest star. Mr. Van Jones is in here. I guess his last appearance. But Riddler, who's dressed up as a cowboy, him and his men set to rob them. But eventually Batman shows up as able to defeat Riddler, But overall, good episode in my opinion. But I'm sure if you've seen it, you've seen the episode. So. Alright, and then the last episodes for this season, I'm not done yet. Find Finny Friends, and Batman makes the scenes. The Penguin has a turn, he has a plan. So, involving Alfred. They're throwing a billionaire's party or whatever, and there's going to be a lot of money there too. So the Penguin has to steal it, so he uses Alfred, who there's a secret location of it. Alfred is going shopping because he has to do dinner for it. They kidnap him, and Alfred says, "I'll never tell you the real location of it." He lets Penguin know, "I will never let you know the real location of it." But until he's able to use this machine, and it just makes Alfred kind of like a zombie almost might control Alfred. Then Alfred comes back suddenly. Batman and Robin are suspicious of it because he's twit, so they know something's definitely wrong. But Robin's just risking more. They try to take on Penguin, captures them, ties them up in this balloon, not ties them up in a balloon, but puts them in a cell where balloons where they'll lose oxygen. When the last balloon pops, they'll lose air. But overall, that's where the episode ends. Batman and Robin are eventually able to escape it. They're eventually able to trick Alfred because they know that he'll probably tell that Penguin will try to find out that the millionaire's will be here, so they prepare. And then you have, Penguin's lady who wants to be a model or whatever, wants to be a star. And so Penguin gives her a chance to do that, to pop out of the cake. And, when he calls Alfred about it, he's like, where is the Millionaires Club? Because he has this penguin noise like, I can't do it right, but his attention. But Batman sets the pace by taking a bat pill, of course, and eventually, before Penguin can get away with his loot, his lady says, I didn't want to do this is definitely wrong. He tries to tell, Penguin no, and Penguin passes her out, and Batman and Robin fight. That's where the lady, she does go to jail, but she gets to be reformed, and she, gets to become her dream of becoming a model. She's like at Bruce Wayne's house at a party. Overall, good episode in my opinion. And that was the last episode of season 1. But guys, just a couple more hours, 1 hour and 9 minutes. But I am almost through. Let's be a little patient, please. Alright. Next is Zelda the Great. Now these episodes I liked, they weren't on some of my favorites. This is where sorry. Zelda the Great, actress Ann Baxter, who plays the villain Zelda the Great. It's basically kind of like April Fool's Day. Someone has robbed the Gotham City Bank of $100,000. They, of course, call Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin, they have a new villainess that they're dealing with, and they don't know who it is, but they decided to go to this trap of, that it's real money, but it's not real money. They're, just to capture the crook, basically. They basically plan a story to draw them in. And Zelda, of course, they find out Zelda is a magician. She plays tricks. She is working with this man, which I forget his name. Evil. Zelda doesn't want to kill anybody. She just likes to rob and steal. Zelda goes and covers an older woman. He's like, and then she reads the newspaper, but he's like, oh, it's a Batman trap. And, Batman and Robin are telling this lady what they're going to do. And she's like, Batman and Robin, see in the flesh, is just like, and, Batman and Robin was like, it's okay, citizen, calm down. Robin's like, ma'am, behind these masks were probably normal people just like you. Batman and Robin try to take him out, but Zelda's watching, she's like, oh, I can play traps too. She calls Aunt Harriet saying that Dick Grayson got his head hit with a baseball bat and he's injured, and he was like, oh, we're missing a line, I better go. And she kidnaps Aunt Harriet, wanting money, and she basically doesn't murder, but Elvo wants to kill Batman and Robin, or set up a trap for them. They kidnap Aunt Harriet demanding money from Bruce. In the previous episode, Zelda has kidnapped Harriet, Bruce Wayne, Commissioner Gordon, and Robin end up on TV. They plead with her not to do this, to return her safely. And Robin's like, come on, quick! It can't be all that bad, And then, Bruce has a message for Robin saying, Batman tells him to get ready or whatever, something like that. Alfred feels guilty. Alfred's like, if I had been watching Mrs. Cooper, I probably could have protected her. It's like, Batman's like, it's okay, Alfred. You were doing your duties, because he was cleaning the Batcave around that time. Because Alfred cleans the Batcave sometimes. Elvo reveals to Zelda that he plans this trap. It's like an escape room, kind of. He trips Batman and Robin in there, and he has these two goons to just hide in these mummy statues, these statues that shoot Batman and Robin. It's like, but Zelda helps them out. Elvo gets knocked out by Batman and Robin, by Batman when he throws a batarang, and Zelda comes crying, apologizing, which is like, no, Robin, real tears. She does go to jail, but they talked about reforming her, and because she's talking to Bruce Wayne about it, because he has a Wayne Foundation that can help her, and she uses a magical flower out and tells Bruce Wayne, would you give this to Batman? And Bruce, of course, who is Batman, appreciates the gesture. But overall, I like the episode. It just wasn't one of my favorites. And I wouldn't say Zelda's really a villain. It's more the Elvo guy. I mean, yeah, she's a villainess. She does, rob, but she just doesn't kill. Because although those in the season are told to have tried to kill Batman and Robin, she doesn't. She saves them. Okay. And then next is True or False Face, Holy Rat Race. This is where you have the villain, False Face, right here. You have this master disguise named Falseface, who manages to steal the jewel crown, and basically Falseface goes in disguises. He has this woman named Blaze, who he works with. Batman and Robin she comes in disguise in the Commissioner's office as a man. They find out who she is. She's able to escape. They try to get Blaze to help them. I think they take her to the Batcave. If Batman takes him to the Batcave, he has this bad gas so that they don't know the location or know their protect their identities, basically. Falseface, is able to escape, when because his men fight off Batman. Blaze is ready to betray them. Or, she starts to become better, she starts to become good, because, Batman says, Blaze, stop this life of crime. Falseface disguises himself as Chief O'Hara. And, he's like, when Chief O'Hara's he's like, this saves a life! Disguises myself! It's like, right you all, O'Hara, and then passes him out, and it's like, they talk about Falseface, kind of right in front of his face, and says Chief O'Hara, and it's like, well, he's insane. Maybe Blaze knows that he's Chief O'Hara by the mask, I don't know. But they're able to, Batman talks about a trap, Chief O'Hara comes up with a plan to talk about a trap. Blaze takes in there, Blaze eventually is able to use the knock out on Robin, and knocks out Batman too. And then, he's like, Batman like, Falseface! And he's like, and Blaze wants to apologize to Batman about this, feeling remorseful for Falseface. They wheeled them to the train tracks where the train would hit and kill them, and Blaze is like, I'm sorry, Batman's like, it's okay, Blaze, a life of crime can change you, I forgive you. And, Falseface is like, come on, and then Batman and Robin are about to die, and then Cliffhanger, Holy Rat Race. Anyway, Batman and Robin are eventually escape from the train trap, able to get loose. Eventually his plan is to steal real money from a bank, kind of making it false, that's what he does, go in disguises. Blaze, eventually, turns on Falseface and eventually starts to help Batman as Batman chases Falseface down. They're able to get Blaze, he'll go undercover, meet this guy, he's disguised as Commissioner Gordon, and they're able to find out who he is behind the mask, find out Falseface, and eventually capture him by the end. Well, I like the episode, it was good. Alright guys, just one more and we'll be done, okay? Just one more, just two more. That is... Did I mention the actor who plays Falseface? Malicious Throne, who plays, I can't say his name, but next is the Bookworm episode. Let's see. The Bookworm turns while Gotham City burns. Bookworm, who is a villain played by Roddy McDowall, who would also go on to play Caesar in the Planet of the Apes, the original Planet of the Apes movie, Roddy McDowall, And I think he played in a movie called Fright Night. And I think Roddy McDowall voiced the Mad Hatter in Batman the Animated Series. Was it? No, it wasn't Mad. Sorry, let me look this up real quick. Yeah, I know he passed away back in '98, but what a really good actor, He played Cornelius too. Played in a lot of movies, but let's see, television, let's see, 90s. Yeah, it's okay. He did voice Trevor's Chest of Mad Hatter. Okay. Yeah. Bookworm, who's a villain who loves books. He's reads a lot of books. He loves doing it, but he's basically a criminal. Gordon's death is fake. You know, he has this, book line that the radio was like, "Come on with the plan," and Commissioner Gordon gets shot, and it was like, "Oh my God," freaked out. Bruce and Albert said, Bruce and Dick said, "We're gonna go pay our respects to Harriet," and of course you realize that he's not dead, that he was hanging downtown or something, that it was false the whole time, and that the book was planning a big crime. Batman and Robin should have found out what he's up to. For whom the bell tones, it tones for thee. I can't do it after that. It's weird for me to do. Written by Ernest Hemingway, which I remember, somebody told me that when I was in driving class a couple years ago. Eventually, Bookworm's just let him take on Batman, no hide. And, I like that when Batman and Robin are going to fight, Bookworm's goons, it's like, "Your glasses!" Never hit a man with glasses, Robin. And Batman, one thing I would say, the show does have good morals, like, about life in general. As you can say, where maybe, if I'm making any sense, like, look both ways across the road, we all gotta do our part in the world, sometimes, like paying the meteor, and because Robin's like, "Oh, Batman, no, please, can we get the officers, can we get the police a ticket?" Nonetheless, Robin, we must all do our part, but Bookworm's lady is able to trick Batman and Robin. Like, she wants Robin to read a book to her, Robin reopens it, but knocks him out, and he's got Batman and Robin shot on Giant Bell. And then while the Gotham City burns, Batman just she lives in front of Robin. It was like, "Be quiet, you were trying to find out." It's like, "For whom the bell tones, it tones for these." And they're able to figure out where Robin is and save him. They're eventually able to find out Bookworm's plan. When his criminal lady tells him, "Why don't you read the book?" He's like, "Are you intimidating me?" And then he reads through the book really fast, and he's able to calm himself down. But Batman and Robin originally stop him and take out his men. He's hiding in a barrel, and Batman and Robin just punch the barrel, and then he's like knocked out. And Bookworm and his gang, meet Bruce Wayne at the end. He's like, "What's so funny?" Bookworm was like, Bookworm, this is who wrote the book in the title, paragraph, and all that stuff. And it's like, Bookworm's like, "Wow, you're almost as smart as Batman, Mr. Wayne." And then they go to jail at the end. But anyway, y'all, that is my favorite episodes, and episodes I like, which won't be telling this video, but in the description below, of Batman Season 1. So, I know, long video, but I'm ending it right here. Holy runtime. Holy runtime indeed. But holy fun, yes, I had fun time talking about this. Not done yet, but let's see. My thoughts though is I love the season. Really fun, classic Batman. Like I said, it is cheesy and campy, but it was a different time. And this show is fun to watch. I like the villains. All the villains in here do a good job. Cesar Romero, Frank Gorshin, all of them do a great job, I think. Burgess Meredith, Julie Newmar, Adam West's Batman. Definitely one of my favorite Batmans. He is the Bright Knight, and, Burt Ward is Robin. Great, as always. Always love it when he says holy, holy caboose, when he says holy anytime, it's just funny. I know Burt Ward is probably the only, I think Julie Newmar might be so alive, but I would love to meet Burt one day and just for him to say holy something, just to, made me laugh. But it'd be nice to meet him one day. But overall, Batman the first season, great first season. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 stars. Fun to watch, yes. Like I said, it is silly, but the show is meant to be that way. So again, when you watch this show, all the darkness of Batman, the dark version of Batman, forget that when you watch the show, because that's not here. So, I forgot to mention that when they can't ever contact Batman on the red phone, they do, of course, have a bat signal, which they'll shoot the bat shot night just to get Batman and Robin's attention. You do have the movie, like a couple of months after the first season finished. The cinematic feature film of Batman premiered in theaters on July 30th, 1966, featuring 4 of the villains. New Bat gadgets were enabled by the bigger. You have Julie Newmar, of course, who, like I said, was plays with Merriweather, but I'm not talking about Batman the movie. So, yeah, that'll be down videos, a couple of videos later down the road. Not too long, but anyway. Batman Season 1, great in my opinion, guys. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Batman Season 1? Do you have any favorite episodes? And who's your favorite villain of this season? And let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Batman Season 1? And what are your favorite episodes of Season 1? So anyway, guys, next. We're still on the Batman 60 show. It says it's got 3 seasons, but next will be my thoughts on favorite episodes, or episodes I like, of Batman Season 2, which is Season 2, Part 1, yes. There is also Part 2, but like I said, there's separate videos, but we'll be starting with Season 2, Part 1 as next. So. Of Batman. So, Season 2, Part 1. So yeah, let me know of Season 1 of Batman. What are your favorite episodes, and what do you think of this season? What are your favorite episodes of Batman Season 1? And I look forward to me talking about Season 2, Part 1. So Season 2, Part 1, that'll be next. So, stay tuned, guys. I got 2 more videos coming up. On the next video, just look forward to it. You'll be seeing it here in a bit. So, stay tuned. Same time, same channel. So, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.